Hi everybody, it's me, Teresa Perrin. For those of you new to the channel, welcome. For those of you who've come back, thank you so much. I appreciate it. If everyone could take a minute and smash that like button, it really helps out with the algorithms. Today I want to discuss something that I personally have seen happen in several tickers in the past. And I know that I've even recorded it at times. And I can't remember if it's in a video. I just tried to scan real quick to see if I made it blatantly obvious, but I don't see which one it's in. Or if I've posted it on Twitter in the past. However, guys, spoofing most certainly occurs in this market. There is no doubt about it. And it is illegal, okay? And unfortunately, it happened this time with a cancer cure stock, or a stock that's, trying to have a prevention, a vaccine actually for cancer. And I find that absolutely disgusting. And it brings to mind a ticker that some of you know I like very much for cancer. Unfortunately, I lost my best friend to the battle that was complicated by COVID on my birthday this year, July 27th. And it's very near and dear to my heart. Sorry, I'm starting to tear up now. But this literally makes me sick. And NWBO is the ticker. It is an OTC stock that has proof of several large institutions, hedge funds, market makers spoofing. And they brought it to court and filed a lawsuit against them. And I couldn't be happier for them. Guys, this is just not okay. And unfortunately, it absolutely happens in this market. And some of these institutions have been in trouble in the past. And just wait until I share what Ken Griffin said with you. Seriously, this is just absolutely disgusting. And you better believe in this title, I added AMC, GME, Adder, COSM, AVCT, BBIG. I'm sure Hellbiz, HLBZ, any of these names, of course, my PSTV, unfortunately, it's not a popular one, but they're looking for a cure for cancer too. And it's a company that I feel very strongly about. And this NWBO that actually took this and said, we're bringing it to court and we're suing you because, guys, this destroys companies and this makes it very hard for them to get funding. And when they do try to raise capital, they're getting it for lower than the stock should be valued at. And it's not okay. And I want you to take a good look. I mean, you can take COSM, Comms, Hellbiz, Mullen, all of these stocks that, have been beaten down so freaking hard. I mean, I can list off probably 20 more on top of that. Maybe not as popular as those ones. But guys, decent companies, TBLT, Tough Built, companies that shouldn't be where they're trading at right now. And it's because of this manipulation that occurs in the market. And it's not okay. So I want to discuss what happened with that and why I think that this is brought about and NWBO wins this lawsuit against all of these market makers and hedge funds, then I do believe that other companies will come out and try to do the investigation behind it and start suing them because they should, because they're destroying their stock. They're making them get funding for pennies. And a lot of these institutions are the ones that, give them money when they raise capital at cheap prices. So they're getting, millions of shares at a huge discount, which again, it's stealing, and it's stealing from retail. A lot of these stocks are names that retail invests in. And guys, it's total BS and it needs to be stopped. It truly needs to end. And I'm so happy that, NWBO got up the guts to take them to court over this. Good for them. But let's get started. All right, guys. So it says biotech company says Citadel Security, other big traders manipulated its stock price. A biotechnology company accused Citadel LLC, Susquehanna International Group LLP, and other Wall Street firms of driving down its stock price through a series of illicit trading tactics. In a lawsuit filed Thursday in Manhattan Federal Court, Northwest Biotherapeutics, Inc. alleged that market makers had repeatedly engaged in spoofing, where traders place orders with an intent to fool other investors about a stock's demand and manipulate the price. Northwest, whose shares trade over the counter also sued Canaccord Genuity, G1 Execution Services LLC, GTS Securities LLC, Instanet LLC, Lime Trading Corp., and Virtue Americas LLC. This frivolous lawsuit appears to be nothing more than an attempt by Northwest Biotherapeutics to divert attention away from its long history of governance and management failures. SEC charges for financial reporting, lapses, and lawsuits from its own shareholders, a Citadel Securities spokesman said. Can you believe the nerve of them? We intend to pursue any and all legal action against Northwest Biotherapeutics for making these false and baseless allegations, which only undermine the integrity of our capital markets. No, what undermines the integrity of our capital markets is the fact that you guys are spoofing, not just on this company, but on many. And anybody who follows the market and looks at the tape can see this happening. And guess what? This is not something new, and this isn't the first time that they've been sued for this. Northwest shares traded at about 83 cents. In 2019, the company settled allegations by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission that it failed to maintain internal control over its financial reporting. A spokesman for Nomura, which owns Instanet, declined to comment. A spokesperson for Virtue had no immediate comment. The other firms didn't immediately respond to requests for comments. Of course they're not going to comment. We have the hard data, said Laura Posner, a partner with Cohen, Milstein, Sellers, and Toll, who is representing Northwest. It's hard to dispute actual transactions and patterns. Spoofing, which was outlawed in 2010, has been at the center of a years-long campaign by U.S. authorities to root out market manipulation. Guys, they can say they're trying to root out market manipulation, but let's be perfectly honest. They haven't done a dang thing. You know what? These companies get away with so much BS, and all they get is slapped with a minuscule fine that means nothing. The investors are the ones that get hurt. The companies are the ones that get hurt, and it's just plain wrong. In August, a federal jury in Chicago convinced two former J.P. Morgan Chase & Company traders who had been charged with spoofing in the gold market. Okay, so here we go. In August, we just had J.P. Morgan Chase & Company get fined for this, okay? And you know what? They convicted them. I wonder what their penalty was, honestly. I'd love to know that. If anyone does know, please comment below. In the modern stock market, high-speed trading firms such as Citadel Securities and Susquehanna provide stock quotes throughout the day, executing orders from other investors while collecting a thin spread between the buying and selling price of the shares. It is unclear from the data cited in the suit whether the alleged spoofing orders were placed on behalf of other investors or by the firms themselves. But Northwest argued that these market makers knew it was unlawful to execute the alleged trading tactics and should have had procedures in place to detect and prevent them. Guys, they know it's illegal, but again, they don't care because it's very rare that they get caught. And when they do, whoop-de-doo, they get slapped with a small fine that, quote-unquote, is a cost of doing business. Disgusting. So, apologize, I lost my spot. Okay, but Northwest argued that these market makers knew it was unlawful to execute the alleged trading tactics and should have had procedures in place to detect and prevent them. Sorry, I repeated that. The market makers, Northwest wrote, deliberately engaged in repeated spoofing that interfered with the natural forces of supply and demand and drove the company's share price downward over the course of the relevant period. Northwest said the alleged spoofing orders, which occurred between December 2017 and August 2022, battered the stock price even as the company released positive results from the trial of its lead product, a brain cancer treatment. Guys, does that sound familiar to any of these stocks? Let's take Helbis, for example. They just announced great news this week, and what did they do? They drove the price down. We all know naturally the price should have risen, but did they allow that? No. In its suit, the company wrote that it had sold more than 49 million shares to raise money at artificially depressed prices, Again, guys, that's a problem because this does affect their ability to raise capital. And when they are raising it, they have to sell even more shares, further diluting their company at really low prices because it's not where the value should be because of these tactics. One of the telltale signs of a manipulative spoofer is a rapid reversal of trading direction. A lot of sell orders followed by buy orders, followed by the cancellation of sell orders, which suggests the original sell orders were not intended to be executed, but were merely a ploy to drive the price down, to buy low, Northwest said in its complaint. The company said it found thousands of spoofing episodes involving tens of millions of baiting orders over a 5-year span and was able to identify the market participant using trading data. Guys, this was written by Justin Baer. And if you want to give him a comment, you can. His email's right there from the Wall Street Journal. So it's justin.baer@wsj.com. Guys, please let me know your comments below and what your thoughts are on this. I'm thinking that if they actually get fined for this or something happens to them for their manipulative tactics in this case, and a lot more pressure is put on them in the markets to stop this, that we may actually see some rise in some of these stock prices. However, don't expect anything right away, if at all. But, you know, I'm glad. If this firm can stand up, then hopefully some of these others can. But good luck to them, because I'm going to tell you, Adder stood up to them for the crap they were doing, and look at what they've done to their stock price. It's just disgusting, and it needs to stop. Honestly, I wish there was a way where there was trade for trade, kind of like the blockchain, where you knew if that stock's gone, you can't play these games, guys. I don't know. They need to do something, because what they're doing right now, it's just not working, and there's too much corruption going on. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, and have